Hello and welcome to another episode of The Laws of Minecraft with me, LawFromChaos. Okay, so we're just taking a very quick look at the force wrench and what it can do. First of all, you need to open the GUI of it, and most people that's F or Shift F, Control F, something like that. And so it goes in here, and now you just want to fill this up with force liquid for most applications of it. I mean, it acts as a regular wrench without that, so you don't need it to do normal wrenching things like, lifting up machines, changing machines configurations, etc. But if it's completely empty, it will not do its special abilities, other than the fact that it's the only wrench that I know of that can alter settings in a force of flash block, which we'll get to later. Okay, so the special thing that it does, as far as filling it up goes, you need to fill it up with force liquid. That can be done with force gems, putting them directly in there, but that is the least efficient method of getting force liquid from force gems. I think you get a fourth of a bucket, 250 millibuckets per force gem put in there, but you can actually, if you use magma crucible, you can reduce those into, I think, a bucket and a half each instead. So that's a much more efficient method. And there are other ways that are supposed to be able to, but I'm not sure. I'll be doing an episode where I talk about generating that when I talk about the Force engine here. So if you're more interested in that, you can go to that one. Okay, so using it as a regular one, you're just going to right-click normally. And see, as you can see, it's going to switch between these two items here. Two valid inputs for it to be looking at and providing it power. These two little wooden things right here. You can also just kind of like this, you see. If you click on top, you can rotate the position of chests, the direction they're facing. But it does have one special thing. Anything that has a tile entity, well, not anything, but anything with the configuration settings, and if you want to see what is possible, you can look in the wrenchable.txt within all the DartCraft configurations, and it will tell you what you can wrench up. But if you shift right click when it has liquid in it, right now it's full at, let me just demonstrate to you what's going to happen. So it's full at 10,000. Shift right click, it will become a tile entity, and it will save everything that's in all of its slots. You will not lose any items. One thing to note, you do not want to press shift right click and put this down, because if you do, it doesn't crash your game, it just pushes you out of your game. It's an internal server error. So it's not as bad as some, and if you absolutely need to, you can do it. It'll just cost you a few seconds getting out of the game, coming back in. And then you can put it back down again, and it's just all the same. You can do it with normal chests, you can do it with these, and it will safely break a double chest into two one components. And as you can see, each time it's doing it, it's costing 100 millibuckets of force to do it. And it's just got it right there. If I just hover over it, it tells me how much I got. Now, something like this, you can see it's got items in it, it's also got liquid in it. If I force wrench it, it'll give me the tile entity of it. And I can put it back down, and you can see it kept everything. Now, if instead I have a force wrench that's completely blank, I want to show you how that works. And it'll still do the same thing, but if I shift right click with this one, it will tell me insufficient fuel on anything it cannot affect. It'll go, wait, I can't do that. So it'll let you know if it cannot do it for that reason. But it will still say insufficient fuel, even as you can see on things that you can't wrench up. So it's not a particularly good diagnostic. And as far as the force engine here goes, let's find another kind of wrench here. Just in case. Let's get a couple other kinds here. Yeah, as you can see, this one is designed specifically not to be removed by regular wrenches. And all you just really need to do is hit it for a while, probably generally with a pick, and it'll come up. But it will just lose everything that was in it, essentially. I should just give myself a pickaxe real quick, just to demonstrate that. But that same principle does not necessarily apply to all other machines. A lot of machines will have like RF stored in them, or liquid, or other things like that. And if you just use one that's blank like this with nothing in it, it'll wrench it up like a normal wrench would, and you'll lose everything that's in it. But with this one, it'll preserve it as a tile entity, and everything inside it will be saved and stored. So just be aware of how much fuel you got. And there are times actually that it's convenient not to have it as a tile entity, because the tile entities are not necessarily going to stack. And so a lot of times you can stack the machines more easily if you don't have them that way. So it's a question of what is more convenient for you. All right. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to go through, and it looks like everything's good. So I will talk to you guys